Our CNN Global War coverage continues tonight. Right now, an update to a stunning report you first saw here on Friday. The Israeli military's top general has suspended all operational activities of an ultra-Orthodox reserve battalion which was involved in the detention and assault of a CNN crew in the West Bank on Thursday. One soldier was dismissed from military service altogether. CNN's Jeremy Diamond was reporting on Israeli settler violence against Palestinians when they were approached by Israeli military troops.
Producer Abir Salman identifies us as journalists before translating the soldiers' commands.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
So the soldiers just immediately came up and started pointing their weapons directly at us, telling everyone to sit down immediately. Obviously, we're not posing any threat here.
The commander comes straight for our camera, and within seconds, a soldier has just put photojournalist Cyril Theophilus in a chokehold, forcing him to the ground.
Don't touch him like that. Don't touch him like that. Give me my phone.
Wow, Jeremy Diamond is in Tel Aviv tonight. Jeremy, how rare is it for the Israeli military to take this kind of disciplinary action?
Well, John, it's extraordinarily rare. In fact, it appears to be unprecedented in both speed and scope. Within about 48 hours of our report first airing, the Israeli military's chief of staff suspended the entire battalion. He also removed one soldier from duty, reprimanded a slew of commanders, and launched this inquiry by Israel's military police into the assault on my photojournalist, Cyril Theophilus. A lot of this has to do with the fact that all of this was caught on camera, the kind of massive reaction that we got out of Israeli media following this. But it also seems like the Israeli military's chief of staff was particularly unnerved by some of the words of these soldiers that they told us on camera, including one soldier's talk of revenge in particular. And to that, the Israeli military's chief of staff said this in a statement, quote, "Weapons are to be used solely for the purposes of carrying out the mission and never for revenge. We will not accept such incidents within the ranks of the IDF." I also think it's important to acknowledge that the accountability that we are seeing in this case, isn't just due to the fact that this was caught on camera. It isn't just due to the extent to which this was publicized. It also had to do with who we are, the fact that we are American journalists in this case, because we have seen far too many incidents in the past of Palestinian journalists, of Palestinian civilians dealing with similar allegations with regards to the IDF. And in those cases, too often, there is simply no accountability.
So on the issue of accountability, although a little bit separately here, do you have a sense that the Israeli government's going to take action to prevent these illegal settler outposts going forward?
Well, interestingly, John, as it relates to the illegal outpost that was in this very same village of Tayassir in the West Bank, I'm told that the Israeli military dismantled it after we left that village following our encounter with the Israeli military. But settlers came back, and they have since established another outpost in that same village, according to residents who I spoke with today. So it seems that, these settlers are continuing their actions, and the Israeli military doesn't really seem to have a broader plan for addressing this massive outbreak of settler violence in the West Bank. Since the war with Iran began, 7 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli settlers. That's nearly as many as were killed in all of 2025. And while the Israeli military is talking about accountability as it relates to the incident involving me and my team, we have heard very little from them about how they're going to tackle what is a massive outgrowth of settler violence in the West Bank, and the role that we often see Israeli soldiers also playing in advancing the agenda of these settlers. John?
The issue is not going away. Jeremy, we are glad you and your team were safe. Thank you so much for being with us.